key thing that I want to underline here is that the register, the National Voters Register, or the Register for Special Interest Groups, are actually the cornerstone of elections. Because for you to participate in elections, you must be in the register. If you are not in the register, then when you happen to turn up at the polling station, you will not be able to vote. So this exercise is so important for the whole country and for the individual citizens, because you need to make sure that you check and you are really in the register in order for you to participate. And it also helps for you to know where you will exactly vote, because sometimes during polling day, that's when people wake up, they try to go to particular polling stations, and you don't get your name there. And when your name is not in the register for a particular polling station, you will not be allowed to vote.
Like how we did see it with the S1 elections.
Yes. So it is really an exercise that is so important, and I believe tomorrow being the deadline, I should expect all the voters who have never gone to check their details to do the needful, to go to these polling stations and check their particulars. And I would particularly urge the politicians. I've seen there are many who are moving out there to do consultation and so on. And you may even have a big follow-up. But what you need from these people are the votes. And somebody to be a voter, the name must be in the register. So let's encourage the populace in this remaining one day to go and check their particulars, such that if there are errors, they can be corrected, so that they will be able to participate in the forthcoming elections.
Okay, maybe somebody will be asking, what are some of the duties of the display officers in this process? In other words, what is expected out of me? Should I have to carry something, or maybe perhaps the national ID, or what is exactly there when to ensure that I actually be part of this process?
Okay, as highlighted before, we display these registers in public places, and of course there are two types of registers that we are displaying. The first is the National Voters Register, which will be used for the general elections. Okay. Then the other one is the Special Interest Groups Register. That is the register for the youth, persons with disabilities, and older persons. These ones, for the National Voters Register, they are being displayed in the polling stations. Then for the Special Interest Group Registers, they are being displayed in all the villages. So when you go to a particular, like to the polling station or to your village, it is in an open place. You don't need something much to carry. You just physically present yourself, and these registers are actually on A3 and on spiral, so that you can be allowed to flip them over and check. You can, first of all, check your details, but you also have the right to inspect the register. That is when they are like people who are dead or people who are underage, who are to be omitted from the register. That's when those you can raise those objections, and our display officers in the field will fill the appropriate forms when you raise those objections. So the process is just simple. You go to the public place where the register is displayed, and you are free. You'll be guided by the display officers. You are free to inspect that register. It's not a complicated process. Okay. So we encourage the voters, please, tomorrow is the last day. Make sure that you go to these places where the registers are being displayed to check your particulars, and also to inspect the whole register. There could be people who are not supposed to be on the register. You can raise an objection, and also for particular voters, when you go to the polling station and your name happens not to be in the register, you raise the objection and the appropriate forms will be filled such that your name can be included back on the register.
Okay, back to Mr. Ezale. I want to ask, what follows after this exercise? Shall we have another opportunity for another display again? Because you mentioned of omissions, for instance, dead people, where you have errors, this allows corrections, maybe. What follows after that?
What follows after the 21 days, you know, this display has been running from, I told you, from 25th of April. It is going to end tomorrow, which is 15th of May.
Okay.
But after that, we have another, we call it a mini display. That will be for 10 days for natural justice.
Okay.
Because these people, there are recommendations that have been carried out.
Okay.
In the field, like so and so died, and so is not there, maybe he's not seen, he's under age. All these things are going to be reduced into a form, and we are going to have tribunals sitting. Tribunals are going to sit for 10 days, beginning from 16th of May up to what, 10 days? They will run for 10 days, but they're beginning on 16th.
Okay.
Now they will be verifying these recommendations that have come, which were filled in those forms by display officers. So from there, after the 10 days, their recommendations will also be verified later.
Okay.
The 10 days are just for natural justice, that people should not be removed, and the people can make their, like if I've been recommended for removal from the register, I can appeal on those 10 days that no, what we call reinstatement, I can be reinstated back.
Okay.
So there's another 10 days where we can have those things, but it will not going to take place at the polling station. This one will be taking place at the parish centers, and the people who are going to do that work is the parish supervisors.
All right, maybe somebody could still be asking, what do I risk if at all I do not take part in this exercise? Tomorrow is the last day.
Tomorrow is the
And
last
still
day.
there may be wondering whether to go or not.
Tomorrow is the last day, but you will not be sure whether you're in the register or not. It can so happen that maybe you are not in the register, but you will wait to come during the voting time and your name is not there. Now it will be very difficult for you to start tracing. But if at this time you can confirm, no, during the time of display, I was in the register.
Okay.
At least this is the last time you can have the register, the opportunity to see the register. The next opportunity will be during the polling day. Now, if you have not taken that trouble now, and you are not certain that you are there or you are not there, but if you get the opportunity to go and find that you are not there, at least you can be reinstated. That's the essence of the display of the register, to give that opportunity for you, maybe to raise that I'm not there, I should be there.
All right, maybe somebody still will be asking, certainly maybe I should be part of this campaign to make sure that tomorrow I also really go in and check sure if I'm on the register. You know, we are now living in a period where the electoral, the campaign is actually underway. We cannot underscape also really and say that the elections are not with us. If you really move across the country, you will see display of posters right from as you enter the country and also to the exit. You will get to realize that elections are actually around the corner.
True.
Maybe, how is this going to be significant for those that are not going to be part of this? Because we have had scenarios where people are just removed simply because they are not part of this. And how ready are you as EC to make sure that people are actually not left out on the D-Day of elections and maybe on the D-Day of voting also?
We are sure that we don't want people to be left out. Out. That one is that's why we are bringing that display. But, you know, once you're in the register, as we had said earlier, a register is the cornerstone. Actually, you must be in the register for you to have other things, to participate in other things. It's not only voting that you should be. Even if you're a candidate, if you want to be a candidate, you must be in the
display.
In the register.
Okay.
So if you are trying to contest, you are urging to contest, and you are not in the in the register, definitely you will not be a candidate.
All right.
I remember in 2016, a politician, a good politician,
Missed out.
Missed out.
Okay.
Simply because he was not on the register.
Meaning part of this is actually part. This falls
This
under
is
part
what-
of the
yeah,
electoral
this-
process. Is
the
this under
electoral
the
process, this is actually the part of the electoral process. It's a
Okay.
long thing, but you must be in the register. One, to be a voter, you must be in the register. Two, to be, to be what? To participate as a candidate, you must be in the register.
Okay.
Then to second someone as a proposer or a seconder, you must be on the register.
All right.
Maybe even to call back someone, you must be in the register.
Okay. Now that's where I want to bring in back Mr. Lioma on how progress of this is moving on in West Nile sub-region, where we have issues of mindset still lacking. How is this moving on in the West Nile sub-region as we have been observing?
Okay, thank you, moderator. Maybe before I come to that, there's some critical aspect that you brought in about how ready we are as EC to ensure that people don't miss on the register and actually people are not deleted from the register. I would like to put it really clear that this exercise of the display of the National Voters Register and the Special Interest Group registers is done by the Electoral Commission with impartiality, fairness, and in a transparent manner. That's why after the 21 days of the display for the National Voters Register as prescribed by the law, when they come to an end, we have that period of natural justice. So when somebody is on the register, it is actually not an easy thing to remove that person. That's why whatever recommendations are made, especially about people who have left the area or people whose details have appeared twice or who are dead, are not easily removed. Actually, especially for the dead, we'll even need the recommendation of the LC. The LC will endorse first. Those forms will be filled that this person should be deleted, but the LC must confirm that this person has been a resident of my village or cell, but has surely died. That's when somebody can be removed. So somebody cannot easily just be removed from the register. About the progress of the activity in West Nile, so far we are moving on well. When we started, the turn-up was actually good, except somehow in the middle, the turn-up became low. But as we are winding up, maybe it is the habit of our people, they like sometimes coming at the last minute. We are hopeful that tomorrow, all those who haven't turned up to check their particulars will do so, so that you can be sure that you're on the register and your details are correct, and your name actually appears in the right polling station where you are supposed to vote, so that during polling people will not have a lot of challenges of running from one polling station to another to check where their names are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe are we going to be seeing an extension, because before this process we actually had the last exercise EC conducted extended. With this one, should we also expect an extension as well? Or are these days sufficient for all, maybe for this exercise? Is it enough?
Thank you so much for that critical question once again. As prescribed by the law, this activity is supposed to take place for 21 days. But for us, as West Nile, we are, I should say, on a positive trajectory. The turn-up has been good, but maybe in other regions, if the turn-up is rather low, normally when we conduct this activity in the various districts and the various regions, we write a report and submit it through our region to the headquarters. So if from other regions the turn-up is low and the commission at that level, the national level, sees that it is necessary to have an extension, it will be at that point that the commission will take that decision and make an official communication to that effect. But for now, what we know and what is being prescribed by law is the National Voters Register is displayed for 21 days, which is ending tomorrow. So let's not, I urge the voters not to focus so much that possibly there will be an extension and that's when they can come to check their particulars. Let's take this last opportunity, which is tomorrow, the only remaining day. We must go and check our particulars. And if there are objections, let's put them in tomorrow so that they can be captured and the necessary corrective action can be taken.
All right, as we are just left with about 5 minutes to head in for our break, I want to now ask Mr. Osman, still on this issue of the display of the National Voter Register, and I know Koboko should be doing well in this exercise, just like the rest of the country and the rest of the region, and maybe other parts of the region as well. What follows this, maybe this exercise, if we are to understand, after here, because we are seeing the environment getting actually tense. That means elections are not actually far away from now. What follows this?
Follows normally the display exercise is going to be nomination.
Okay.
And this time we are going to start with the special interest group. Because with the special interest groups, their elections start from the village level. So we are going for nomination of the older persons, those committees. There are five committees. The youth, the PWDs. We shall start from village, and their elections is from the village up to the national level. After village, we go to parish, after parish, sub-county, like that. So they are at the corner, nominations beginning with them, I think, next month, which is just maybe, how many, 14 days, 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
Okay, that means we are actually getting closer to that, and that's where we are going. Pausing the discussions for now. In case you're just joining us right now, you're most welcome, and we are discussing on issues pertaining the display of the National Voters Register, which is ongoing and which is actually climaxing tomorrow. That means if at all you haven't given time to be part of this exercise, tomorrow is the last day for you to ensure that you are part of this. You never know if you're not also given time. On the last day, when you want to vote, you will be blocked, and that will not be very, very much well. For now, we are taking a commercial break. When we get back, the discussions will be able to follow. My name is Farish Majid. Stay tuned.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Hallelujah! Here's reason! This Easter, enjoy more rewards and care from StarTimes! Simply pay monthly subscription for the next bouquet and enjoy an upgrade to the next higher bouquet. For classic and super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Extra entertaining and educative kids channels.
And now it's time to
Extra new series on Makula TV and Gangs of Manila on the Novella E+. Reality TV dating show Hello Mr. Right Season 2.
How old are you?
A thrilling title race in StarTimes UPL and La Liga. For more information, please call customer care on Airtel line 0200 117 700 or MTN line 0317 117 700. StarTimes Easter. Care beyond entertainment.
It's time to break free with Azam TV. Grab yourself a full kit at 80,000 shillings or an Azam decoder at 40,000 shillings. Experience the thrill of every goal in La Liga, Italian Serie A, German Bundesliga, and the excitement of live sports action from the Saudi Pro League and Carabao Cup on Azam Plus and Play Package in HD. Your favorite China Uganda movies on Chamuka TV on Azam Pure for just 13,000 shillings monthly. Unlock a world of sports and entertainment with Azam TV, the most affordable pay TV around. Visit any of our agents or call 0312-308-900 for more details.
Azam TV, entertainment for everybody.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Hey, Okero. Hey, Kajambo. Mukasa. Where are you going with the family? Mugina kudikidamu? Oh no. Hey.
We are on our way to the polling station. The Electoral Commission is displaying the National Voters Register. And I need to make sure my name is on it. And Sophie here wants to confirm her voter details. We are all warming up for elections. Okay?
What about these young men? I can see you.
These ones are no longer boys. They are now men. Last election, they were too young to vote. But now, they are ready to vote.
Mukasa, you have really inspired me. Now let me also go home and pick my wife, so that we can check the details in the register. Okay. See you at the polling station.
The National Voters Register will be displayed at your polling station from 25th April to 15th May 2025. Please do not miss this chance to confirm your polling station and your voter details. Report the dead for removal from the register and those who appear more than once. Every vote matters. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Alright, welcome back from that short commercial break. In case you are just joining us right now, you are most welcome. But if at all you started with us, thank you so much for being with us up to now. And we are still discussing on issues pertaining to this National Voter Register. In studios with us this evening, we do have a team from the Independent Electoral Commission of Uganda. That is, we do have Ezale Osman. He is the returning officer for Koboko District, as well as we do have Alioma Francis Chandia, and he happens to be the assistant returning officer for Koboko District. And we are still discussing on issues of this, and I really want to welcome you on board in a special way. If you have questions, keep them coming through on the comment section, as well as you can use the number running on your screen to keep the comments coming in that I will be checking through later on. But for now, we want to see now how this exercise is progressing. And I want to start it off back with, that is Mr. Ezale Osman, to see how the exercise is moving on, in particular in Koboko, a district that has a number of refugees, that's from South Sudan, as well as from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Are they part of the exercise? And how are you maybe working to make sure that they actually do not get involved in our electoral process if at all they are not supposed to be? You must work.
Thank you. Thank you once more, the moderator. As a border district, Koboko is doing well. We don't have really so much challenges. About the Sudanese and the Congolese, they are not supposed to be part of the voting process, and that's why display is there. Display is there to identify the non-citizens who got registered. You can't rule out that someone can somehow manipulate the procedures and get there. But we bring, during the display exercise, we check on the correctness of our voters and find a way of dealing away with people who are not supposed to be voted in there. Who are not supposed to be in the register. The category of people we normally remove from our registers during the time of display are the dead people, the non-citizens, the underage, people who are underage, people who register more than once. If you appear there twice, we remove one of your details from that register, and people who register in maybe a parish where they are not originating from or residing from. Like here you get someone just maybe somehow it gets in our register and we don't know, we can't trace where this person comes from. That one we also remove from the register. So all these opportunities that are there, and all is well with Koboko. Right. And even West Nile, we don't hear much complaints. So far, so good.
All right, that is where I now want to bring on back Mr. Alioma to see how, of course, and maybe what call he has that is the public. And if you look at the environment currently, a number of political parties actually making sure that there is structure ahead of the period. And we have seen launches happening, we have seen people taking part in elections. That is just to signal that they are actually ready for 2026 general elections. What is your call, in particular the political parties, as we head towards 2026 general elections? You're most welcome.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Political parties are one of our key stakeholders in elections. And the election being a process, and this display of the register is one of the processes of the electoral process. And every electoral process or every electoral activity is so important. And we expect, and in fact, we don't just expect, but political actors or political parties should participate in this. And especially for this display exercise, I had mentioned before, the register is the cornerstone of elections. And of course, the political parties will field candidates. And now, for your candidates, you actually need votes for them to win the elections, to get majority of the votes. So to do that, we need to join hands together and do mobilization, especially this last minute mobilization. I expect and call upon all political parties to actually get active tomorrow, and even not just tomorrow, even now communication is through many ways. People can communicate through the social media and even physically tomorrow. Let us engage our people, our voters, to come and check their particulars, such that they will know where exactly they are supposed to go and vote, and they will give you the votes. Because if you have a big following, but these are not voters in the sense that their names are not in the register, or some assume that they're already in the register, but they don't go to check their particulars, then they'll have a challenge at the last minute, and it will be too late. The window is now, and it is closing tomorrow. Please, let us do this last minute mobilization to make sure that people turn up to check their particulars, to make sure that they are correct, and where there are objections, they should raise them so that the recommendations are captured by our display officers in the various polling stations and the various villages where they're also displaying the special interest group registers, so that during the period, the 10th period of natural justice, those recommendations from the objections will be handled, and where there are people to be removed from the register, they'll be removed, and where there are people to be reinstated in the register, it will be done, so that the elections will run smoothly. You will get your votes from the voters. Otherwise, if you just move out there and you are having a large following, but these people are not sure where they're supposed to vote. Some of them may be in registers, but they don't know exactly the polling stations where they are supposed to vote. Then you will miss their votes.
Because I was able to set my eyes on one of the display forms, one of the villages. But my observation was that some people from other villages were as well on these forms. Is there any provision maybe to make changes on the polling station after this, or it is done and sealed?
Yeah, now, as I've said, this is the last window. When you are a voter and maybe by mistake, your name has moved over to another polling station.
Or maybe
That's Well, you see, there is a provision for correction and the minor corrections for that matter, not major corrections. So this is actually the right time when such incidences are there. They should be raised and they can actually be tackled.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe
maybe in addition to what you have asked.
Okay.
You know, this polling station, some people moved actually from the polling stations there where they were to another polling stations, maybe within that parish. But the good thing is now commissioners villagized polling stations.
Okay.
They want particular villages to vote in a particular polling station. Okay. So much as you move to another polling station, which is not for that village, you will be, reorganization of polling station is a continuous exercise. As people are going to add these data, maybe remove, still they can adjust. It will be adjusted. People will vote in their particular polling stations. So it's not their worry. At right now that the polling station I've put is very far, maybe it's not the polling station I'm supposed to vote. No, you will be brought back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that brings me back to you. How long will it take for me to see my details actually corrected? What is the grace period for me to have response back to see if at all, maybe if I had errors, and maybe these errors are now corrected? How long will it take?
Okay, this process, I'd said the display is for 21 days. After that, we have that period of justice, which is 10 days. And it's a rigorous process. That's where those objections, when raised, are expected to be handled in an impartial and transparent manner. Okay. So in the 10 days, our tribunals who are appointed by the judiciary, most of them are actually already sworn in and they are thoroughly trained. They will look at the objections and whatever decisions they make will be displayed, and if there are also some further objections about that will be, their decisions may not necessarily be final, but the returning officers of the various districts will have a look at them when there are also further objections. But this period, the process is so rigorous, and this is the time, after the display, the 10 days of natural justice is where the objections will be displayed. That is the one where anybody who has an objection should pay keen attention, so that when the final register are printed, he or she is actually in the register, and those who are not supposed to be in the register are actually totally removed.
And how confidential is this exercise? Because some people do not want the information to move. Do we have respect for privacy or respect for confidentiality in this?
Okay.
Because we're talking about display.
Okay. The voters register is a public document.
Okay. All right.
It's not privacy, confidentiality.
Anyway, because
that is why it is displayed in public places. And any member, actually it is for public scrutiny. So any member of the public can go and inspect that document, the voters register, because it's a public document.
Actually, the beauty of display is you know who is voting where and who is who in that register. Okay. So you get someone where you are not satisfied with this person, this person is not in our village, or maybe in our, you can raise objection that this one should be removed. Okay. And that is why it is there. Okay. Not all that you got, even you can go there and see that Osman is there in that register. You can't tell me, Osman, I show your name. Only that may be my name. Was it well spelled? That one is why I needed to go there physical myself. Okay. But otherwise, you find people, no, you are there in the register. This is what I normally see. So and so is there.
Okay. Now, just to array their fears, still keeping it on to you, and maybe, because many of times when such exercises come, people have negative perception that these are things of the government, these are just things of the Electoral Commission, they want disturbance here and there, and all this sometimes is being also really fueled by some individuals who spread wrong gospel about certain processes. Just to array their fears, maybe in 2 minutes, why must they still trust the process? of this display, because some people may not have had the time simply because of their negative mindset about this program?
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, we as Electoral Commission, we are independent, and this is provided for in the Constitution, and we are really impartial. And whatever activity, electoral activities that we undertake, we treat all people fairly. And there is no electoral activity that is not important. So any member of the public who wants to present any electoral activity to be like it is not important is actually misleading the public, because the electoral process, we involve all stakeholders because we want it to be transparent. The election is a process, and every process we want all the stakeholders to get involved, such that the outcome, the final outcome of the elections will be owned by all of us as Ugandans. So please, this display exercise is important.
Is it at village level?
This village level is for special interest groups, the youth, older persons, persons with disabilities. But the one at polling station level, that one is for the national voters register. Actually, there are those two categories of registers we are displaying at the same time. So please, let's stand up for this on this last day of tomorrow. Please, we turn up to check these particulars. These activities are important, and there are other activities that are coming after this, like the nomination. Of course, after the nomination, we shall have campaigns before we finally get to the climax, to the polling. These electoral activities are all important. Let us all participate. Let us ignore any negative, actually, we should not have a negative perception about these activities. This is our country. Let's participate. And actually, we are the ones to give the mandate for this representative. They get, we are actually, they get the power from us. We just give the mandate to them to represent us by electing them. And when you don't do that, if people elect maybe the leader you do not like, and he makes actually a wrong decision, it will be you who has participated also in that wrong decision. Maybe when you participated, you had mobilized and you had participated in the electoral process, you would have gotten a good leader who would represent a particular constituency or electoral area effectively. So let's not begin to have those kind of blame game afterwards that we have a bad leader. Participate in this activity. It is even your constitutional right. Participate in these elections so that you get the leader you want to represent you or to represent your electoral area or constituency.
Is there any money I pay for this exercise?
This exercise is totally free of charge.
All right. I wish you explain that to the people who speak Lubarati in just some few minutes, because our time is almost up, but it will really be unfair for us not to give our Lubara speaking community some small information about this exercise. That will really be very, very much absurd. I want to give that to you. As we are just running out of time, and if you can really see, we are having some few minutes to move out to the studios.
Before, ba amandrepi ngazo TVS de azimichichi amainga electoral commission ama andro ozon zodwa display voters registered adansi kokobi ama register kan kuru ba pini bani uti kinga vote bedi ama ba jidi the polling station adala azini village yasi ama ki da imu register di ale imiru cheki adansi activity do ide drusi badri mupi iru cheki pikoreke da mamuki iru di chekera asiniki nia vote benga polling station ngopi ari then register di bafe vote lengba ra mini ide chekizo idri ba ziru ndre vote register da agudi drachata site kan ko de licha vote bezo ko ide Uganda nla ko edi kan ku di ruwa pi register da register da paleri mi asni jo agudi drate ba formu ama display officers de ki form aziki fida then activity dri de drusibo udu aziki ba mudri bazi tribunal baba dini ngari register objection bani fe kan ku complaint da de ke andri asini ba leta imaru da ki register koreke ba irun zera kan ku ruwa pini da so register leta ba da ki tiri ba iruaji register dika so udu asizori drusi le amuki amaru cheki register di a ozo azia ma under register a amukala ko ya derki ama ofuike asini ba yazako asi election ya mupidredi ama ruwa ba derki register ati polling station amani vote bezo ndondo di PA amaru ba derki le ini vote be polling station ngo ari asini sa vote dirdi amubo milumu midri vote be polling station clear a miatini bada mirunda polling station dondo a kubeni made ama totone bata politiki yareke saadi ya le amoru kibebaki ba muki irudi kiteki asi iru registango ari kinia sale minga vote da lezorisi
tardoga maru chekisi adini omabeni
edriga mu miru chekisi ozo ala dari itado nila imiru register le ale chia yuarini doko tade imiru de anda bia de register chikabo otosena aviko ede dati tade muke mi mu confirm zola imiru de dati imi da muke spelling ya de ki muke dan komi vote be polling station anda minida mi awevo ala da de le mu ni drodoti
robi azofe utadari tia kan send as bano felayo
activity electoral commission ani yadereke senda koro edri mu mi rucha ke bo bazi aba zimidri senda mi rucha ke zo register ami senda fetika de adiku bada free ziraramo udukoni mi to idri amanira amanga zo de adiku azako kilili amanga respond zo da ambele amazo da azako kilili dini
okay ani ro aruo de kan question sidre utada bia ti onyero ani ko bokwa ebida tingoni are
kobokwa
musande kobokwa miusundre bayi munyalore de makala angere dika bazi abangu nde mali ade vinendi
kobokwa
utende ya tingoni baka du kobokwa
azidi atia laro register bani eda ba pinidi ede atia laro adansi de besa bani fe askwani village ade kan ku parish ya bani ke era polling station dia ade vote bani ade bani kira bazi de bendre register da ada ede Uganda nlaku kan ku agudi inite evidence mi dutia good ele chadri mudu daroko vote bezoko idiru register de di be sile register de edazo obi pinire membe asini ozo de adiri uduko ete ba information de capture asini banga agudiru register sinzate
so ba anga ba midira mutiare ke afaini zi utadi malara ire aduni kana kumecho mocho maru ke style ngosi adle ni maru kana kubili atira
registered by ke da obipini ipini amundezo apariazi bapini ga etazo open de adira mini amuda ari ozo azi angrilayo registered by the abiru kan kupatiru bua afa ba flip azi by the mi de nga deni eden rezo de adira so mi amu bazi media faze ko bati re miamu miru cheke akamelo midri cheke ko register ami ala andri pirira ba midri fazia ila ko polling station DPA kan ku village ya ba special interest group register ke dadale display officers amadu dike amai training ki clicking ga mia eke mi allow eke adansi dlembo femini register di cheke zo zo as ala da ankiri challenge rumita kan ya fazi document ze dundi ngon adela edeyo dade kan idrimu cheki bazi kitsetasi bazi transfer kyandra polling station azi ars muzo polling station azi idrimu dadi remi rudi do ayo transfer di drawe oko kalasi mito auto mizi ama display officers kinga mizi kerenzitansi rudi diayo maybe transfer di andra kwe mi copy andra transfer form duplicate copy andra fe mi duda mi aji asini bamu ruda efe emiru vo adreso polling station tamile da ati ya dir bayan otherwise afazimi mu dari ba imizi uzo azisi angre da layo ma idri ba mu pikiri iru di cheki pikoreke udu tsepi drusidi a le amukiru di itsekera asimi ni ya ivoti be polling station ngwari a ri kilili polling station de a bazi ruaki da atile kita ba da ko kan ko bazi ki iruki dayo le tabadre ti ya dir ba mu afadi cheki drusi.
Okay. Ale zime kumi be da pe. Ale dorvo moza Osman Dudwa. Dodu dusudri debo. A dini mu utad mavuti ya bindi kende karun. Dusudri debo msana lu imidila suzu kaliri la ke de dusi. Dre debo.
Ama di register aki do. Angazo polling station ari ama ki do ki di parish ya. Ba mavu ama parish supervisor ki di modo afariki dani. Aya tribunal giving a more afariki andri ki di recommendation anda ba so ba anja di anda ba anja di aran ki di ani andri di ki apira anda piru ba de ki ba de ki kita sikta kuma aki register mala ki di DT.
Okay.
E tribunal members like di DT ki di bara ki enje. Amadi and one very natural justice. Natural justice in the look practice wa dogs and gone are.
Okay.
But the other say a far fair. Urodri ban zezo ban vale ba fe ba pini mi divne munne ban ze ba yam ta ban ze ba de kira anda piru le ban ze ba de kira ka e ban ze kira ba di ban kinze ka yo aziki de ati wa gudi botoro nze wa gudi dradri wa gudi iteru vale de nzera bisi mi vine yo da ni mi vine se afa pili mi vine yo tribunal de kuna pia da piru mi adanti de redra ko ko mi eti ki di ban active na mi chile be reinstate mi back a father kokobi amaduta voting bi yale.
Okay.
So aziki mundrichi ulu imavuti yake odo ntekende bodu mundu na aziasi even is ulu aziasi afara ki di ama parish supervisor ki di do azinga parish yake di adani polling station na like ki di am parish ya tribunal members pia
mega kacho egara urudira fa developer ra dini akacho ege dikarara
urudira fa developer ki kakao
okay kacho ba ni mbele rasa na matotorsi
mbele rama yo alo ika dini rami afada ati mi kokobia maripa vote bezori ati nyoto pa to candidate rura ifensi mi mu nominate ra ida davin ati mi vini a supporter ka ni ko busa mani nomination ejosi mi ba zeti adia isimiru manga amyangu kwa midani era kani ku mi vini yo ba vini mi andri mi bazi andre form nomination to na feel amatata se bakileti baki kan mudri da fa MP piri baki mudri da delisi 5 piri baki kalito wi Paris I mean two-thirds they are favor pimalase me vini mi rusi da lenti because me da ati kokobi da ati te ka adayo no to mi vote of fee
beto menzera
sa nsi vini indi mula councilor mi di ojo nze piriku recommendation ntale aba nzagudira da mi vini a supporter ba nze bara ni rira kani ko yo azemi apiku ono tazi mi esie da leti ika ati mi vini petition ama no ve petition mi vini sera mi sera ma vote number this ale yani kani ko yani mo
peter ba vuni kililiku
mi afara sevenira so urudri mina anzo ko bida da reangere so ale ta iba pidri ba ma ndiki ni le mi atika ko bida ma da ati.
Okay, mega da di orodri otita developeri ani madia ma iworol baru pari ndondo di malia musu nesgo du drusi dika mupe ovupe du osizo ta developeri ama du orodri ama mu pari ndondo di malia lezo nezo kini ama vuleko msani sawa petavle kanga tsabo minzezo mega ringo vudinzaze amborne minita bazine pa topic anko bazine ta fepi bazin patopin ran ringo vumini chanderu minzezo sala malia so udun azuri lidrusi le amu panu da mafla de malia lezo nezo kini mudlo tadebe te amangakiri mudle mega yo azmini choba ware nechi na vute amade goter matiopi amade vele mu ondo de malia
our for moderator ba mandrepi ngazo tvsd aluzorsi award for ozondo activity ndondo odozo andra amani Paris bani vote bezor kiulizo polling station ndondo deke andrizo de amabiki tichi azidi atualo ata de sadisi rusi za vote bezori kan ku transfer ozor ya andra ativini muke amata disadisi aziandra ba bingaru sizo de de era amazi di register di anira mabiki tichi alara te du sipi drusidi le amuki badu mupi iru chekipi register di akuri ba mukira de ko ozo register di amiandri ozo mi ndreda kan bazi le tabad register di ayu kan ko edeli chako kan drabo le tabanze di rute di adiri di be sama afada diri ki dazo anve ba ruda adiri kinze register di asiadre muke kaludu amadu dinga asini asimuke ben so odu asizo dusidi le ba mupidri iru chepi pikodi ba mukiru diki andrira asini sa voti diri aminga nia imu voti be ngwari itani ati onzo dia da police station dondo a ini miru ngwari ko sada a dia di ben so our the four amakiti titu alorsi activity as in dondo electoral commission diri ki amu display di volunteer period udu mundida ba objection de ke azizo ndezo ya de le amatiki vuti the display vutia ba ta nomination ya campaign ya le amuki activity di ara ama ie angaki activity ndondo electoral commission dudiki asienjusi count di amani ama aki yuma badra masitayo le angwa mama sitako the country amani ama chikiti activity
azizi munotisi electoral commission remi otomingoni emingonde ya kani mingonde ku
ama electoral commission room ngonde utita bani uti onve roadmap ro election di ba odwar ki otongwari ediati kilili so asini urwazi badre agwazi ma asiayo ama chiki tualo ba asianzusi Ozontondo electoral commission ni aji cheta se sars ba display kan ku register di ki dadi ba mu asienjusi register di ki cheki ozo azi dusu anada de killa ko ba di ba officers amadu di kiti eke capture ba o ki asienjusi otherwise electoral commission ro aziki atikilili anira opeta kan ku kalulu amupidi edengai o kilili asienjusi le amachiki ti ala tualo.
Alright, anira ba lubaru panu de sudi mbata dari gerkwazi mukane seni da ijidi na motori mo siza udu androner maliani ku Osman leo azina barari kadimi na bara amade motori mo tiopidiane
kadiro ya wa werero okolsa fede awdifo bata ma mepere ni ma yemi udu asi drusiye amki udu adama rurki andira akake devini ru andri bo activity de devo activity display de devo activity as do anya ma be ogogore ne denomination dri nomination ki mbodrusis ki dora mo do special interest group sa taba chopere my elections ki ba
ode
ki bo deki ba ma akin gonde tele mia mini fijo petari mara mi huma register
ani ku baka yonza special interest group mara ima nomination ma send si ba zolo la manera les patozo teni ku send ofele nomination eri silingisi ya ke cho madiro bara
interest group wa da the village ki parish ki send ngayo send ni mi do iri mu sub county yada nomination as the local government yare send ke chin committee ma send yo iri do politics ngba mini muzo ato councilor sasa wo daily kan ko sub county ya district ya na robia nomination ne fe okuba self kalir
tsa sende
sali dekuba mu kan wo za dira ya kan mu awi kalir yare the nomination fees anda sub county councilors ki fe alf kalir ni man na nga awi ile dra tata da desi sai ne unjoro sa manga e na lora.
Okay. Mega Amadeus still terabeda ma pa wasani maru Faris Majidi ale den ter Mathiopidi ale fo family to mita maneva do sawa tamendo di sawa risipere sawa de mali ale omidro de fangere au mane medika sawa versi ale fo family to bandundu parindu dika maneva sawa neba sawa driasi Western TV rudi ale de family angere lu baru panundu di ale omidro de fo da ije motori mo pizza malia and really I want to thank you so much the viewer of Western Television. That brings us to the end of this talk show where we had a discussion on the display of the National Voters Register. And I really want to say the day is actually climaxing tomorrow. If at all you haven't been part of the process, and you must actually be part of also the team tomorrow to make sure that you are checked, so that by the end of the day you get to know where you vote from, and you get to know which other issues also really surround your name in there, so that you are not maybe caught up by surprise. And that will really be so nice for you to move personally. Do not send, move personally. Take time to move personally to where this exercise is taking place. Because sometimes we have scenarios where you might not be interested in wanting to go to the nearest police station to check, but for this, I want to encourage you to move personally to make sure that your digits are actually the ones that you own. And that brings us to the end of the talk show. I want to thank you so much once again. We are out until next time, and we do appreciate the team from the Electoral Commission for making sure that the team, the people, the masses actually get to know their duties. And I also do understand that this is actually a mandate of the Electoral Commission to make sure that the citizens are in the know, because civic education sometimes remains a challenge. But that brings us to the end. I hope you had a wonderful time, and we look forward to having more of these engagements until the end of the process. From me to you, it's a good night.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Hey, Okero. Hey, Kajambo. Mukasa. Where are you going with the family?
Oh no.
Hey.
We are on our way to the polling station. The Electoral Commission is displaying the National Voters Register, and I need to make sure my name is on it. And Sophie here wants to confirm her voter details. We are all warming up for elections.
Okay. What about these young men? I can see you.
These ones are no longer boys. They are now men. Last election, they were too young to vote. But now, they are ready to vote.
Mukasa, you have really inspired me. Now let me also go home and pick my wife, so that we can check the details in the register. Okay. See you on the polling station.
The National Voters Register will be displayed at your polling station from 25th April to 15th May 2025. Please do not miss this chance to confirm your polling station and your voter details. Report the dead for removal from the register and those who appear more than once. Every vote matters. This message is brought to you by the Electoral Commission of Uganda.
It's time to break free with